Dingity ding ding ding.
The stock market just closed on the day. A beautiful chef's kiss of a day today, Wednesday, October the 8th, and I'm here to tell you I told you so. So many people yesterday said the bottom's gonna fall out, doomsday, stock market crash, run for the hills. And during the live stream and the update video, go fact check me on it. I said, I don't know, folks, feels like it's gonna be a dip buy opportunity. Now, I'll be honest, was it comfortable buying the dip when all of a sudden things were not looking so good? No, it wasn't comfortable, but when you trust in the stats, facts, and figures of how this market's performing, it makes you feel a little bit better. And what makes me feel really good is the fact that the market exploded once again to new all-time highs. In this video, I'll be breaking down everything you need to know about today, but most importantly, I want to give you a little bit of a heads up of what you should be paying attention to for the remainder of the week, because I have three different tickers, three different equities that are looking primed for an explosion to the upside. But before we get to all that fun stuff, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications if you enjoy these type of market breakdowns. And as always, in a comment below, let me know the main company, the main ticker that you're paying attention to, because if I see enough people talking about one, well, hey, we'll make some specialty videos for it, and you might even talk this guy into buying a piece of the action. And with that being said, let's roll the tape. Now, before we get going, I should warn all of you to throw on your green sunglasses, because I don't want anyone's eyes to get damaged from the bullish utopia that we now find ourselves in. When the market closed, this was the official headline. S&P 500 and NASDAQ closed at a record high as Wall Street looks past the US government shutdown. As I explained yesterday, the government shutdown, at least historically, is not bearish for the stock market, so the fact of us looking past it feels like the intern writing these headlines isn't doing much of research. But anyway, S&P 500, dingity ding ding ding, new all-time high, looking absolutely beautiful. NASDAQ, same thing, new all-time high. Russell 2000, not a new all-time high, but very close. You have gold ripping nonstop year to date. This thing is up 54%, also hitting a new all-time high. And guess what? So is digital gold. Like the Russell, recently hitting an all-time high, little bit of a breather, but within spitting distance. So basically, across the board, if you're a bull, a massive congrats to you. But really, we should get into where's the next opportunity. If you've been paying attention to these update videos where we really take a dive into trying to identify the next opportunity, or even paying attention to the live streams, shameless plug, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11, you could watch me degenerately trade my own account. You know what these put together, the idea is to not only break down what's going on, but the real golden question is where are things going? And that's really why I want to highlight what's been going on in the live streams and the recent update videos, where I said, even though there's a lot of negative talk recently, it looked like it was a dip buy opportunity, and I'm pleased to announce I did it, and it's looking pretty good. My one-day return on this account, currently $17,000, but wait, there's more. On this other account, up about 20K. So between those two, almost a $40,000 day for me. And obviously, I'm very excited. For me, that is a lot of money. But most importantly, I'd like to see the fact that the things we've been discussing back and forth, this idea of us together working on this puzzle that we call the stock market, it's so nice to see it play out in person. So really, what went down? Well, the market opened. We had a little bit of a hiccup just right at market open, and then we just pretty much ripped all day. And things were being led higher specifically by the semiconductor sphere, such as NVDA, AMD, Broadcom, Micron, Intel, Qualcomm, all of those names. So if you looked at the options flow in the S&P 500, very strange. We popped, we went sideways, big drop, big pop, very messy. But if you look at the Mag 7, beautifully bullish. We opened up and then just ripped. That's pretty much how it went. And what if I were to tell you this all happened, even though we're absurdly bullish, it's all happening because no one knows what in the world is going on with the government, and there's a lot of uncertainty. Fed minutes show caution over inflation, even as officials cut rates. So they're worried about the labor market and inflation, and that's why yesterday the market started to fall when everyone was talking about stagflation. That was a whole mess. But right now the odds are still pretty high of a Fed rate cut at the end of October, even though the government shut down and we're not getting any new data. And the fact that the market is saying, okay, we're getting a rate cut, cool, we're going to go long anyway. Fed minutes reveal divide over outlook for interest rate cuts. Government shutdown has paused the economic data releases that could resolve debates over how to manage the thorny trade-offs. Once again, dual mandate. labor market and inflation. Commonly, they're at odds with each other. Most of the time, the labor market has been strong, inflation was too high, so they kept rates high. But now we're getting at this point where the labor market is starting to weaken, and everyone's saying, should you cut rates more to help out the labor market? While other people are saying, but wait, inflation is still too high. And what happens when you have a weak economy and high inflation? That is stagflation, the word you very much don't want people to be talking about. And remember, all this uncertainty, all this chaos is being made worse by the fact that the government shut down. According to Kohrs, we now are expecting an even longer government shutdown of 24 and a half days. According to Polymarket, there is now an 82% chance that the shutdown will last past October 15th. So basically, for the most of October, government's going to be shut down, not doing their jobs, but hey, I bet they still get their paychecks. Now we're all on the same page of what in the world's going on. Let's really get into the most important part of this video. What should you be paying attention to tomorrow, for the remainder of the week, for next week? Where is the money-making opportunity? Obviously, I have no crystal ball, but I am able to do basic statistical breakdowns to tell you where higher odd opportunities are. And in reality, this entire list relates to the semiconductor sphere. Number one, the granddaddy stock of them all, NVDA. NVDA currently trading at 189, year to date up 39%, recently putting in a nice double bottom, and we are swinging back around. If you look at the daily, you're going to see higher highs, higher lows, strong momentum, and very strong options flow. Obviously, when it comes to NVIDIA, the evident level to watch is 191, followed by 195 and then 200. That's where we see a lot of positioning. Up next is the second biggest semiconductor play, Broadcom. Looking exactly like NVIDIA. We have kind of a double bottom. In fact, you could argue it's an inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. If you look at the daily chart, you're seeing a nice, fresher, higher low, going for the higher high, looking for that breakout above 347. And then obviously I want it back at 360, 373. Options flow very strong, especially into close. Obviously, a raising tide raises all ships, but there was one ship today that is doing better than all the others, and that goes by the name AMD. Looking a little bit different than the other two, just looking very, very strong. A beautiful follow through, hitting a new all-time high. This rocket ship, not long ago, AMD was trading at 165. It is now 237. This thing is beyond a rocket ship. It is going into an entirely different solar system. This thing will not stop ripping, and it's not just the strong price action and momentum, it's also the options. I mean, look at this. Everyone is YOLOing into calls or selling puts. Very, very strong. So the entire semiconductor sphere, NVIDIA, Broadcom, AMD, those are the three you should be paying attention to, but the entire sphere is looking great. And if you don't want to be the person picking the individual name, let me remind you that SMH, once again, SMH is the ETF tracking the entire sphere. Look at that. This thing is a beaut. Higher highs, higher lows, great momentum, very strong, and clearly way past its previous all-time high. This thing, once again, making records. And then for those of you who, I don't know, are a little bit more degenerate in the audience, you can get SMH, but on steroids. You can find a 3x leverage SMH, and it goes by the ticker SOXL, SOXL. It is the semiconductor sphere, but 3x the leverage, which is exactly how it gained an astonishing 10% today. And when you zoom out, you realize that this thing has been on quite the ripper. $8 all the way up to 42, and it looks like it has some room to run. So right now, the overall market is looking great. Tech is looking uniquely good, and that's because of the strength of semiconductors. So if you're not paying attention to the main semiconductor plays, if they're not on your watch list, I fear you might be missing out. And just so you know, for the sake of transparency, right now today, I did make an active trade, and I'm currently running with some AVGO, AVGO calls. Like I said, that's what I'm doing. Take it or leave it. I'm not saying you should copy me. Maybe you like one better. Maybe you don't like that one at all. I don't know, but I am running it with AVGO. Like I said yesterday, when in doubt, zoom out. Don't make a short-term movement change your entire thesis, especially when you're trading on a longer time frame. I get it. Yesterday's pullback didn't feel good, but in reality, it was a dip buy opportunity as proven by today. And remember, when you are trading, keep disciplined, keep calm, stick to basic filters. What is the trend? What is the momentum? What are options telling you? And if they're all in alignment, let it fly. Other than that, be disciplined and sit on your hands. Obviously, these are my own thoughts and opinions, and I would love to hear from you in a comment below. Do you agree that semiconductors are the main watch right now? Or do you think that there's something else going on that I'm completely oblivious to and should be paying attention? Beyond that, I hope you crush today. I appreciate the good vibes, and I'll catch you in the show tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early.
Peace.